Hi, this is Bio with BusyDayDreamBody.com. I'm here with Omena L, a certified holistic health counselor and nutritionist. And today we're talking about the benefits of holistic nutrition as well as optimum healthy lifestyle habits through eating and emotional balance. How are you doing today, Omena?
Wonderful, Bio. Thanks for having me. How are you?
Great. I'm glad you were here to participate and answer some of my questions and really help people out there with the right information about nutrition.
Yes. I'm excited, too. I'm excited to be here.
Great. So how did you, first of all, get into this business? How did this all start for you?
Well, I would say it started over 11 years ago. I mean, seriously, 1998, when I came home from college, I became a vegetarian, and I started researching different herbs and other natural remedies that provided me with optimum health. I also read a book called Spiritual Warrior by Swami Krishnapada, and that book is what ultimately changed my overall view and how I ingest and consume foods and how everything is really interrelated, mind, body, and soul. Also in 2003, I started a small health or nutritional vegetarian cooking delivery service from home, and I didn't have enough manpower to fulfill the orders that were coming in, so that new endeavor lasted a short month. And also I counseled many family members and friends on many of the health concerns and issues they had. I healed my own self from candida and diverticulosis, and many things happened in between that time of 1998, 2003. I left the country.
Wow, where did you go?
I went to Ethiopia.
Yeah, okay, so that sounds like a very long voyage. What was the purpose behind that trip, and how did that all...
Well, I was at a transitional point in my career. You know, I knew that I wanted to do something different. I mean, I was dabbling in the health field of cooking, and I had my own fashion business for 2 years, and just wanted something different, was trying to have a new experience, and this opportunity came to me to actually teach English as a second language through a friend of mine who knew the woman's sister that we worked for. So I basically went with her, and we taught English as a second language. I was a raw foodist at the time. So that was interesting because the first 2 months I tried to maintain that diet in a foreign country, and, you know, of course, many of the bacteria that we're used to here, you're not necessarily used to in other countries, and so I was really sick. Yeah.
So when you were there, I'm sure they had, I guess, different dietary habits, and did that teach you a lot about how different people all over the place eat differently?
Definitely. I mean, there are staple dishes that are unique to a country, but that you also find in other areas. We just call it different things. So they did eat lots of greens. I mean, they would fast a lot. So there were periods of time in the month that they would fast for a full month, but then when they weren't fasting, they did consume lots of meat, so that was interesting. But it was also amazing to see how these people grew their own vegetables and how they basically, I hate to use the word slaughter, but they slaughtered their own meat, and they used every part of the cow, and and even though, again, I am not necessarily a meat eater, I can appreciate that more because it's more organic, and at least you know who's handling the preparation of your food. But yeah, I got sick. I got sick a lot.
So you were in Ethiopia, you got sick. How did that go? What was the situation with that? I mean, was that just the type of food or what?
Well, yeah. I mean, the first thing they tell you, they advise you on, is not to drink the water. And so though I wasn't drinking the water, I was sort of slowly moving from a raw food into vegan cooking. So I would go out. I went out actually to a restaurant, and through recommendation, it was a referral. Someone really talked this place up. Oh, it's clean. It's really nice. And I had some habasha gomen, which is their spinach, and I got sick. I caught giardia, which is a parasite that's found because they don't have very good plumbing. So it is found in feces, but it travels because in the restaurant you have the plumbing from the bathroom and the plumbing from the kitchen all on one line.
Amazing.
Yeah. So I caught giardia, which is a parasite, and it affected the intestines, and I had to of course, the doctor gave me medication and gave me a drink that I had to drink, and it helped out. But I also had my parents send me lots of my herbs, so I went there with oregano and colloidal silver, and it was just like, I mean, I did a lot of self-medication. And
so it sounds like this that I mean, not to take anything away from Ethiopian culture and food, but even with some of the differences in the plumbing and all of that, though they have great food, it seems like there was a chance for you to do a lot of exploration of these healing remedies as well as having to try different foods and all of these things. Is this what led to your training, like when you got back?
Right. When I got back, I, sort of definitely was saying to myself from that experience, and just, of course, again, looking at my career and where I wanted to be, that I wanted to incorporate all of those things that I did, the fashion, the health, the color therapy. And so in 2005, I basically started a T-shirt company called Be Love, Be Light. And I did that for maybe like a year. And I got pregnant, I had my daughter, and I kind of picked it back up. And I was researching different schools to go to basically be certified in what it is that I do. And I came across a friend of mine in 2007 who told me about Integrative Institute for Nutrition. And I didn't know how I was going to pay for tuition, how I was going to be able to afford it. So I went back into my head, and I thought of creative ways to raise money, and I had that aha moment. That light just sort of sparked, and I decided to start preparing and selling gourmet dinners for friends and family members on a monthly basis. And so this is kind of how I was able to save up a bit of the money. And in 2008, I made the call to the school, and I signed up for their 08-09 school year, and became board certified with the American Association of Drugless Practitioners this July, 2009. And I developed a 6-month customized program for clients who are also truly ready to change their lifestyle and establish balance in their career and their relationships and get more physical activity and improve intimacy and spirituality, because these are all things that I was going through. And that trip to Ethiopia really was something that tested all of those areas of career and physical activity and spirituality and what I call primary food. So there's a lot of emotional transitions happening as well.
So with this primary food, you refer to that as your term of harmony for an individual overall. It sounds like you're very passionate about this. What really makes, for you, your health counseling different than, let's say, just somebody looking up a nutritionist in the yellow pages or something?
The good old yellow pages, all right? Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I'm definitely not a yellow page nutritionist. What makes me different is that I look at a holistic aspect of a person's or individual's life, and I look at many different theories that are out there from other MDs or nutritionists, and I basically incorporate various nutritional theories. I don't necessarily come from the belief system that there is only one universal way to eat and achieve optimal health. I don't think that is even realistic when you look at the vast majority of people who are living in this world and the diversity that exists between all of us. I basically take that and I look at the person's unique body type. I look at their blood type. I look at a person's current lifestyle, their schedule, and the seasonal changes, and I bring all of those things together, and I offer a customized 6-month program. So the client really does receive personal one-on-one consultation from me. I also, what makes me different is that I include a personal gourmet personal chef service. I do grocery store tours. I provide cooking lessons with my clients. I basically show them how to prepare meals that work for their distinctive situations. And the primary food is the other thing that makes me different. I mean, I really look at ways to bring balance to your personal life, your careers, again, relationships, your physical and mental well-being. So, yeah, and I think this is what matters the most in health and wellness, that each person is able to invoke a system of mental clarity and emotional stability and learning how to love themselves enough to allow optimism and abundance and prosperity into their lives graciously. So,
wow, that's a lot that people get from you, and that's great that you're integrating all these things, because it seems that when people think about nutrition or health, they may think of dieting or eating certain foods or what they're trying to change. What do clients come to you usually for? What are they usually seeking out when they're looking for you?
That's a good question. A lot of people, I mean really, a lot of people are looking to have someone cater to their needs, their health needs, their emotional needs, their mental needs. They just want someone to listen to them while they vent, because in that, a lot of other deep-set emotions and issues come to surface when you start discussing the pattern of neglect and complacency that people develop. Some of the more common things that come up on a health tip are, people wanting to lose weight, of course, and but again, it's really specific to the person's health issue and what it is that they're dealing with. I have folks who come to me who want more energy, who are suffering with back pains, of course. But I would say that it really is to have somebody listen to them. There's so much that comes out of it. You think that you're going to just, health is really unique to what it is that you ingest, and this is where you start to see the primary food issues that come up.
And so with the decisions that people make on a daily basis regarding what they're eating and meal plans and food, there's of course the emotional component of how someone is thinking and feeling. And that's really, it's something that seems to be a challenge for a lot of people, because in our society there's a lot of reaction to information that's out there. Like sometimes people say, hey, it's better to be a vegetarian or a vegan, or it's better to not eat meat, or to, not eat carbs and things like that. So do you really find that there's a lot of learning that clients end up doing with you about how to choose what's best for them?
Right. Yes, I definitely look at what's happening in a person's life, and you're right. There are all of these misconceptions as to what a person should be doing and should be eating, and so basically, I'm not the kind of person that's going to tell them to cut out the foods that they enjoy eating. That's a common misconception, that you have to stop eating and enjoying the foods that you like. But what I do is I have a system where I basically add on. Unless a person has allergies or some crucial health issue that they're dealing with, I don't tell them to stop. What I do say is, okay, if you're eating a Dunkin' Donut every day with a cup of coffee, why don't you try adding an apple or a pear so that you can, get more fiber in your diet, and it will help, just sort of help them increase fiber in the diet and have a system where they're getting some health. The other thing that I do is I look at different cases of in different ways that I can approach personal issues that the person is dealing with. So if a person really enjoys eating a lot of fatty foods, trans fatty foods, I'll say, look, increase your dark leafy greens in this area.
Oh,
add more
to balance it out.
Right, to balance it out. Mm-hmm.
Right. Okay, and so in this process, when you're asking somebody what they're eating and then you're recommending things that they should also eat, what's your method of holding all these people accountable for their results so that when they're with you for an hour and they go out into the world and do other things at work or at school or whatever, how can they be held accountable for the results?
Well, definitely, of course, the initial ways that I hold my client accountable once they decide that they want to work with me, because I do an initial health history so that we can see if it's a good match. But one of the ways I do hold them accountable is having them or by signing an agreement for my services and basically being committed to loving themselves enough to get better. I also have a journal that I give my clients where they're able to journal about their experience. I dedicate myself to them for an hour so that they can we can discuss effective ways that they can grow healthier and stronger and be clearer, because I know that I'm not interested in working with people who are not serious about improving their current conditions. So those are the two or three ways that I pretty much hold my clients accountable. I dedicate myself. Mm-hmm. I don't ask them to do anything that I am already not doing, and I have them journal what it is that they're going through emotionally, how they're feeling physically, and of course, just signing that agreement for my services to be committed.
Okay, so it's not a situation where you're not on a crusade to rescue people. It's more about helping people hold higher standards for themselves.
Yes.
And when they come to you with higher standards, reinforcing those choices. And
exactly.
Really, it's very difficult. What's the old saying? You can lead a horse to water, but you can't make them drink, right?
Exactly. That's it.
Yeah.
That's it.
I definitely think that's a wonderful thing that you're doing for the community and all of this. So when you decided to make this counseling more selective for holistic purposes, and you found it's different than, of course, what you would find with dietitians and nutritionists, why did you do this? What was the big purpose behind it?
Well, you said it earlier. I am truly passionate about nutrition. And really, yeah, I am truly passionate. I really do believe that I can help people. I'm sorry, I just got distracted a little bit, but I do believe my daughter. I have a 3-year-old.
Yeah, she's your nutritional.
She's the guinea pig. Oh no, but she's actually. It's so funny because I definitely, because I am who I am and I do what I do, and I'm very passionate about just life in general and health and wellness. When I was pregnant with her, I had a diet that was very regimented. I won't say that I restricted myself from eating certain things, but I ate wholesome foods. And I really did see the benefits of me eating healthier fats, omega-3s. I ate lots of salmon, walnuts, avocados, ate lots of dark leafy greens. And my daughter at 4 months was speaking. So when you say...
I've seen your daughter. She's beautiful and very healthy. So I definitely attest to that.
Very vibrant. And so... Yeah. One of the areas that I focus on is children's health. So when I'm bringing it back to the question of being selective and of why I chose to even come in the field and make it selective, it's because I really want to have people live stress-free lives and be more clear and have healthier lifestyles, because if the parent is healthy and you have children, or even if you don't, but let's say you are a parent, you have a child, you're able to then sort of pass on what you've learned and what you're doing to this child, even if at the time you don't have a concise understanding of what good health is supposed to be. I allow myself and I open myself to the client to be there to help them each step of the way. And I know that everyone's approach is different. My approach doesn't fit the standard USDA. It may not work for everyone.
Yeah.
Because if people have different things that they resonate with. But I know that folks are still suffering from obesity, from depression, from hormonal and chemical imbalances, from high blood pressure and other inflammatory critical diseases, and it's happening in our children as well as adults. And there's one more important point that I want to make, and that is I really set my counseling up the way that I do because I've discovered also that through research, when people stay with something for 6 months, it becomes habitual, and they're more likely to implement all that they've learned, into their lifestyle. So, it's selective for those people who truly want to be stress-free, who want to be disease-free, and who want to live more clear lives, and they want to make a difference,
Yeah, I definitely understand that because working with gyms and fitness and sports, they say that once a person begins exercising and they can maintain that for 6 months, then they'll probably exercise for the rest of their life. And I'm sure from what you're saying about nutrition, that adds to the same effect.
And now imagine, too, if they had this sort of way of learning or pattern of being at a young age, if they were children.
Right,
and someone was implementing this, a 6-month program from when they're like in elementary school or preschool, how to be healthy, how to be more emotionally stable, or creating safe spaces for people to deal with emotional trauma. I mean, I actually, to sort of plug this in, I've created a case study to go into public schools, private schools, charter schools, and show the correlation between healthy eating patterns and children doing better on test scores. Children having more clarity and focus and eliminating depression and violence that happens with children in small ages. But again, it starts with the kids, because if you eliminate it then you won't have violence and all of these other issues into adulthood.
Yeah, that's
it's
really
a gradual
great.
process.
Yeah, you're really it's like you really understand that how vital this is to make a difference. What are some of the questions that you get, and I guess what are the top 3 questions you get about your nutritional services and being a holistic nutritionist that you might think are different or that people usually come up with when they don't know much about it?
Well, they definitely want to know what makes me different. That's the number one thing. What makes my services different from another nutritionist? How am I going to be able to help them with the specific thing that they're dealing with, whether that is weight control or weight loss or, having more energy, counting calories. I'm not a counting calories type of person, but because people are baffling themselves with that question all the time, and I think it makes them fanatic. It's like you don't have to be. I think a certain amount of calories definitely is needed to aid in metabolism and digestion. There's no doubt about that. But if you are very active and, your body is burning fat the way that it needs to, then, you are going to burn a certain amount of calories, and then you'll have to implement, the right types of food to bring the energy levels consistent again, have them leveled. The most important thing is just getting nourishing foods that have the highest ideal of nutritional and caloric benefits. That is the most important thing. But those are the questions: having more energy, the calories, the weight, and people also have to understand that there are certain components that really matter, and that is a person's body weight, your height, your gender, your lifestyle. I mean, all of these things help you to figure out how many calories you need on a daily basis. And it is still such a unique situation. I think, again, most people really just want to know how they can be healthier overall, how they can have energy. And I do develop nutritious meal plans that do provide lots of these things, energy and balance, you know. So.
And I know that a lot of people probably read magazines and articles, maybe hear things on TV and the news, and it just comes down to the fact of, you know, whether they really want to do something for their specific body. Because it's like, you know, you read an article that tells you should have this many calories, but you may need something else. And I think that's where your type of services come in, because you really need somebody who's a professional, who is really certified, that can really evaluate all of these factors objectively. You know, because sometimes ladies or guys may kind of not really, they might overlook certain things about weight or height or their lifestyle, and that one overlooking might prevent them from getting what they need nutritionally to take their performance and body to the next level of what they want to be.
Lots of times people are developing low blood sugar levels because they're not getting enough energy, you know, or they're developing, you know, other kinds of health problems, you know, dizziness, dehydration, you know, because they're trying to consume less calories, and, you know, they're thinking that I'm consuming more water. But it's really, again, about balancing. Your body needs a certain level of iodine and sodium to maintain hydration, to maintain optimum health. It needs fats, it needs proteins. I mean, it needs all of these things, you know. And so that's what I do look at. I look at, again, what is unique to you, what your body needs, because some people, body types need more calories than others.
And when you're dealing with these different types of people, and let's say, you know, you have so many clients that you're working with, how is it that you, we got to touch on how you determine their needs. How do you work with the different variety of individuals and keep their profile information, you know, separated, so you can, because it seems like it could get a little complicated when you're dealing with so many different people.
Oh, it can, definitely. Well, first, what I do with the clients that I work with now is I always schedule times beforehand. Everything is pretty much done before we actually sit and we meet. I also organize color-coded folders that really help me to work with all of the different clients at one time that I work with. I rely a lot on my planner and my phone. Otherwise, you know, it won't work. And I'm also an avid supporter for my clients getting physical checkups or having some type of a medical examination from a doctor, so that I can find out what's going on with their internal organs, find out what's happening with their blood. I just really want to make sure that there aren't any other major health issues brewing. From that is how I incorporate a unique plan that is custom to fit the client's health history. I have surveys that they fill out. That helps me to narrow in on any specific concerns that they have or that they're dealing with. I also have different nutritional approaches, right, and theories that I implement based off of that information that they give me. I try different things to see what resonates with their mind-body-soul connection. Because the goal is really to examine and find the correlation between those things, you know.
I see.
I believe that when those areas are balanced, then, you know, people will definitely be more harmonious again. And like I said previously, you have less violence happening, more clarity, less diabetes. And again, I know that on a political level, pharmaceutical companies probably won't be too happy about that. But again, I think that's a problem that they ultimately will have to deal with, you know.
You know, if we have healthier, happier people in society, there may not be as many prescriptions for some drugs. But, hey, you know, what's the ultimate goal, right? Everybody
Yeah.
should be striving towards better health and wellness and everything.
Exactly. So I look at all those things. I mean, that is basically how I work with the large variety of individuals and determine, what their dietary or what their specific habits are, nutritional needs are, what they need.
And I can imagine that a lot of people that work with you gain a lot by learning to eat better with you and to really, control and understand their emotions better. What are some of those values that they really gain from you, or principles that they pick up after, going through your 6-month program?
That's excellent. I had a client actually, or have a client who really thanked me because a lot of emotional things came out, and she was able to link the foods that she was eating and dealing with these issues. And I had her basically do a forgiveness board where I had her sit and write all of the names of people who she felt ever did anything horrible to her, did something that made her upset. And so I had her on one end of the board write those names down in a line, and next to it I had her say, as if she was talking to the person, I forgive you, Daddy, for not being in my life and for not teaching me the things I felt a father is supposed to teach his father. This is just his daughter. This is just an example. But so I know that for her, she gained an emotional balance in that area. I think the main thing that my clients do get is patience and learning how to be a lot more gentle and loving and kind to their mind, body, and soul, because that was one thing that she learned. Through forgiveness, I have to be more loving to myself. I have to be more gentle with myself. I have to have better thoughts in my mind, and it's not an easy process. And I told her, it's okay. That's the thing. This is not so strict. It's okay if you have those moments where you're upset or you say, I don't want to forgive this person today, and you work through that, I also think more on a nutritional level, because she definitely felt much better. She was dealing with enzymatic issues. And so she basically learned how digestion worked in the body, how vitamins and amino acids and antioxidants broke down and aid and assist in optimal functioning of the organs. She learned, or clients, they learned how to find and perpetuate balance, right, in their lives, the emotional balance that they need. And none of the people that I work with will ever be afraid to take risk. They will be open to trying new things through cooking, through eating, through loving. They're going to be learning various concepts and theories, and it may all sound very confusing at first. Well, Omena, what do I do? Because this person is the better way. It provides you, with mental clarity. And this person is saying that it doesn't. It clogs the digestion. It's information. But I tell you what, one thing that I do know for sure, and I don't tell someone to stop eating red meat, but I know it takes on average 4 days to digest and get out the body. So I just say you take it from cause and effect. You just have to look at it from that end. On the same token, you have a lot of vegetables, dark leafy greens, spinach, celery, broccoli. That's very cruciferous. It's gassy. Celery has lots of amazing properties in it. Of course, it has the zinc for men, helps in prostate with the prostate. It helps with the blood. Good for diabetic patients, but when it starts to turn yellow at the stem, that's not really a good thing. It has an acid in it that it can really be dangerous. So same thing with spinach, has oxalic acid that if consumed too much, it'll start to brittle the teeth. Right? It takes away from the calcium. Right? So you have to really just be careful with the amounts that you're consuming. It's all types of things. But basically, clients are going to have access to a large lending library that I have. They'll be able to read up on lots of other things. And the most important thing is they're going to be part of a ripple effect that is definitely sure to expose them to, these detrimental statistics and conspiracies, and I think the most important thing to do is to really lobby and push legislation to pass the way the USDA and big nutrition and healthcare in this country. You know, you just had Obama.
You're really an advocate for individuals to really empower their lives with better health and wellness, and to have themselves be at the best they can be.
Right.
That's great. You know, that's really what a lot of, you know, that's what's missing a lot.
Right.
And I think a lot of times people say they're too busy for you know, working out or exercising, or they're too busy to find out how to work, you know, a meal plan for themselves or to work with a nutritionist. But I think you've really explained today that it's not as much the time as it is knowing the right information and working with the right person that can guide you along the way.
That's everything. That's everything in life. You have to know the right methods and tools and resources to use to go after.
Right.
You have to know. And it really isn't. If you don't make the time to, and we're seeing it in the statistics, it's not me. I don't create the numbers. I don't create the statistics, okay? But we're seeing in the numbers that those people who neglect themselves holistically, nutritionally, that they are suffering with obesity, high blood pressure, heart disease, and just other autoimmune and inflammatory diseases. And guess what? It's happening with your children, too. So if you can't afford to prevent disease, I say, how are you going to afford when you do get the disease? How are you going to afford the health care?
I know I have a cousin who's a surgeon, and I know that hospital bills are astronomical after the fact you have a disease and things like that.
With insurance.
Yeah.
There are people who have insurance, and guess what? It doesn't cover everything. If you have to have a major surgery done, who's going to pay for that? Unless you have big bucks, and it's nothing wrong with that. But why get to that point? Because that's a lot of wear and tear on your body. And I work with methods and ways to dealing with prevention. That's my thing. I'm not a medical doctor.
Right.
Okay? I don't claim to be. That's why you heard me say I always have my clients work with their doctor. But this is, there's simple ways that you can implement this stuff. And thank you. Thank you for that. Yeah.
Yeah, and so with
prevention,
with prevention, it's like, for people to invest in the prevention of these things, preventing disease, preventing obesity, you ultimately save yourself in the long run and extend your life altogether. For those who are really interested in this and interested in your nutritional advice, how can potential clients contact you, first of all, and then what are your rates and just a general idea so they know what kind of investment it is to really get your professional services? Okay.
Well, for anyone listening who's interested in Tranquility's Bliss Holistic Health Counseling and Nutritional Chef Services, I can be reached. Again, my name is Omena L. I can be reached via my website, which is www.tranquilitiesbliss.com. That is T, R as in race, A as in apple, N as in Nancy, Q as in quilt, U as in us, I as in it, L as in Larry, I as in it, T as in Tom, Y as in Y, S as in Sam, B as in ball, L as in Larry, I as in it, S as in Sam, and another S as in Sam, .com, tranquilitiesbliss.com. Or you can email me the same, tranquilitiesbliss@gmail.com. Or for those people who are like me who enjoy more human contact and voice interaction, you can reach me via the phone, 718-840-7348. I have an array of services.
Tell us a little bit about that. You said that of course, the 6-month program for individuals?
Yes, for individuals. This is personal, one-on-one counseling, and basically with the 6-month custom program, because, again, I believe in really glorifying the uniqueness of the individual. Everyone is special. in their own way. And so everyone deserves that special, customized one-on-one attention. So we meet, under this program, we meet personally twice a month for an hour.
Okay.
And the client will have access to a large lending library, a nice hardback journal to keep results, and a complimentary personal gourmet chef service where I prepare meals and I talk about the benefits of each ingredient. And you also get 2 cooking lessons. Right now, yeah, it's a lot.
Yes, it is a lot.
It's a lot. So right now I'm doing this one-on-one limited amount of clients. We have 20 slots available, and after those 20 slots are filled, we will have a waiting list.
Okay.
The entire program is valued at $2,400. That's for 6 months again. But I am offering the entire program for $1,500. The initial payment is $750, which is then simplified into 3 payments for the rest of the time.
Oh, okay.
So
and you said you also have the group counseling as well.
Right.
Okay.
Then we have group counseling. So for those people who are on the waiting list for the 6-month program, hey, you can get your organization or your corporate companies, schools, parent groups. If you can get 10 or more people at one time, then you can participate in the group counseling. Now, with the parent groups, there has to be 5 couples. That's the minimum. All right, so the parent groups really does consist of like husband-wife, right, or husband-husband or wife-wife, you know. I don't discriminate. It consists of 10 or more people with the other group counseling, like corporate, companies, schools. And we meet once every 2 weeks for an hour and a half, and the people in this group will receive 2 complimentary grocery store tours. So basically, the grocery store tours, we go to a grocery store in your area, you learn how to shop for the right kinds of foods, and you learn about the ingredients in each of those foods. All right? These are valued at rates for the
total amount. I think you were telling
me. It's $1,350.
Okay, yeah, so $1,350.
But it's $100 a month, and I'm offering the group counseling for $600 for the entire 24 weeks.
Okay.
So you see that they're saving more than half. You're saving That's a total of $750 savings. The initial payment is $300, and that's followed by 3 payments after that. I know that's a lot that I just said, but again, you know, if people are interested, they can always call me and reach out to me via email.
And we will have this interview recorded and possibly so that they can play it back if they need to go into more details and listen to it again.
Yeah, exactly. And they also receive a T-shirt. A T-shirt with the 2 complimentary grocery store tours are included in the group counseling. The tours are given at the beginning of the first 3 months and then towards the end of the last 3 months. And there are other things that I do. I do grocery store tours separately, and they're offered every month at local grocery stores in the client's neighborhood.
Nice.
It's $25 per person. With an RSVP of 10 people or more. Then the cooking lessons, I do offer those separate as well. They're $50 per person, and that's a minimum of 7 people, a maximum of 10. It depends on the size and the space of the venue. And then my personal chef services are $150 for 2 hours. So it's $150. The 2 hours are included. And you do receive complimentary consultation of the meal that's being served, as well as the Tranquility's Bliss Dinner Mix CD. So the music CD is included in that personal chef service.
Yeah, that's the final touch there. You know, you got it all. You really understand the emotions and just giving people a lot more value. You know, and you were saying that now your location, where you're located now. Just explain a little bit about your location in New York City for those people who are locally that want to work with you and maybe get started so they can, you know, be and avoid the waiting list.
Exactly.
That are here locally. Now, where are you locally?
I am located downtown Brooklyn in Fort Greene.
Okay.
So for anyone who is interested, I actually don't have a problem. I travel to my clients' neighborhoods. I usually like to meet in a quiet, like, little cafe, or it could be the client's office or their home. But I really try to keep it at nice, warm cafes, especially because it's the wintertime. It's getting a little cold.
Yeah.
I like to make it personable, but I also know that there are some people who like more privacy.
Yeah.
And so therefore, I am open to come into the client's home. We are working on getting office space, and so office space will be available soon, so that if clients want to come to me, they can come to me as well. But for right now, right.
And you also do the teleconferences, I understand.
I have.
For those people that are not local.
Right. For people who don't live in the state, we can also do teleconferences where you call in to a number, something very similar as to what we did today. And I also do phone consultations, which are one-on-one. The teleconferences are more so for the groups, because sometimes you might have people who want to do group counseling and they're not local. So that's what the teleconference is for. We can have about maybe five or more people on the line at one time. So I do offer that, and I do offer phone consultations where basically you're getting the same type of services with the 6-month personal counseling and the 24-week group counseling.
Wow. Well, you've definitely given us a lot of jewels and gems today. I want to thank you for sharing this information. And as you know, I created busydaydreambody.com for the simple fact that a lot of people say they don't have time to exercise, and I definitely wanted to, provide people resources so that they would know what to do and how to do it to eliminate that worry of not having time to take care of themselves and put their body first and their health first, which, of course, your body and your health you take with you everywhere you go, whether you're playing, whether you're with friends and family or working or whatever you're doing.
Yes.
And the holidays are coming up soon, so, this probably would be even a great gift idea for some people.
We have gift certificates. And like Bio said, folks, it is important. When I mention physical activity and primary food, I am actually talking about exercise. Physical activity, the intimacy might mean something else, but the physical activity here that I'm talking about is the exercise. You're so right about that. Sometimes people eat well and they're like, oh, I'm eating well, I don't need to work out. You do, but you need to find, same thing with meal plans and nutritional plans, you need to find out a workout regimen or exercise regimen that works for you. I personally get up, I go walking in the parks, I do take a yoga class on Wednesday at Crunch, which is amazing, and I do different things. I do find different ways to get my exercise in because it's important. You feel the difference.
That's great. So you help people find those complements toward the nutrition as well to help support it.
Yes.
Okay, and your email one more time for those people that may be wanting to contact you directly for the individual, the 6-month program and the group counseling. Can you give us your email one more time and your phone number?
Sure. My phone number is 718-840-7348.
Okay.
My email is tranquillitiesbliss@gmail.com. And again, I will spell it out for you. It's T as in Tom, R as in race, A as in apple, N as in Nancy, Q as in quilt, U as in us, I as in it, L as in Larry, I as in it, T as in Tom, Y as in Y, S as in Sam, B as in ball, L as in Larry, I as in it, S as in Sam, S as in Sam, tranquillitiesbliss@gmail.com.
Well, it was definitely tranquil and blissful to talk to you today, this morning, on this nice cold Saturday here in New York. And I definitely look forward to working with you more and also sharing more information and, talking with you again about these things.
Thank you, Bio. Thank you.
All right.
I appreciate it.
Thanks a lot. Have a great day.
You too.
All right.
Bye-bye.